What if I told you that the real sign of the second test in Bahrain was not the best time, but something that almost no one is looking at? Because while everyone was focusing on who finished first in the table, the FIA published a summary that hit a much deeper message. Oscar Piastri was just 100th away from the best time, running a program that was not designed to find the absolute time. Are we looking at the strongest car on the grid before the season starts? In the second week of testing in Bahrain, McLaren was not only fast, it was methodical, it was consistent, it was clinical. And when a team completes more than 150 laps, simulates a full race, tests power unit modes and still remains at the top of the table, that's no coincidence. Today we are going to analyze what the FIA really published, what McLaren was testing with Piastri's car, and why Andrea Stella left Bahrain with a feeling that could change the start of the season. The first thing to understand is the real context of this second week in Bahrain. We are not talking about the first contact with the car. We are not talking about installation rounds or basic system checks. The second week is where teams begin to inadvertently reveal their true competitive starting point. And that is where the name of Oscar Piastri begins to gain weight. The FIA publishes the official summary of the day and places Piastri second, just 0.010 off the best time. A practically non-existent difference in Formula One. But what is truly relevant is not the position. It is the environment in which it is achieved. Because while other teams were searching for representative laps, McLaren was running an extremely structured parallel program. Lando Norris worked qualifying setups, power unit settings and downforce variations. Oscar Piastri, on the other hand, was focused on something much more complex. A full race simulation with pit stops. That completely changes the reading. A race simulation involves high fuel at the start, degradation management, adaptation to track evolution, analysis of behavior in different phases of the stint and constant thermal evaluation. It is not a program designed to make headlines. It is a program designed to validate the car. And yet, the MCL40 appears at the top of the table. Furthermore, the most compelling data, 158 laps completed between both drivers. More than 855 kilometers of real information. In preseason, that is pure gold for engineers. It means the systems worked, that there were no critical interruptions, that the aerodynamic package responded as expected, that the correlation between simulator and track begins to align. Meanwhile, other teams suffered reliability problems or had their long runs interrupted. And this is where the invisible difference begins to make. Because in Formula One, pure speed can be hidden with engine maps or fuel loads. But mileage doesn't lie. When a car runs smoothly, when it runs clean simulations, and when its times remain competitive within a demanding technical program, that indicates structural stability. And that was the silent message of the second week in Bahrain. There were no exaggerated statements. There was no public euphoria. But internally, completing that volume of work smoothly generates something fundamental before the start of the season: technical confidence. The official FIA summary does not speak of extraordinary tests or special inspections. He doesn't talk about irregularities. What it shows is a day with tight times at the top and a McLaren integrated into that group while working in depth. That's what impacts. Because if the car can be 100th away by running a comprehension program and not a display program, it means there is still room. Margin when it's time to unload fuel. Margin when they activate more aggressive maps. Margin when optimizing the setup exclusively for one lap. And here begins the real question that this act leaves open. Is McLaren showing its full potential? Or is it simply validating a base that can climb much further when the championship begins? The second week in Bahrain did not provide definitive answers. But it did leave a clear feeling. The MCL40 did not try its luck. It came to confirm that it is ready. Because there is a detail that completely changes the reading of the second test in Bahrain. McLaren did not chase the absolute time. When a team does not seek the fastest lap in preseason, but still appears at the top, that usually indicates internal confidence. Confidence that the performance is there even without needing to show it. Lando Norris worked qualifying sessions, yes. But it also alternated high and low fuel loads, tested mechanical setups and experimented with power unit modes. That means the team was exploring the car's full operating range. Oscar Piastri, for his part, ran a full race simulation with pit stops. This implies that McLaren was validating behavior in progressive degradation, brake thermal management, stability in long stints and balance consistency when fuel is reduced. And this is where reading becomes strategic. In Bahrain, the track is constantly evolving. The asphalt gains grip, the temperature changes, the wind alters the aerodynamic balance. A car that maintains stability in these conditions for more than 150 laps is showing something fundamental: a wide operating window. And that is key. Many cars in Formula One can be fast in perfect conditions, but few maintain performance when the track changes, when tires begin to degrade, or when balance becomes critical with low fuel load. The fact that McLaren completed 158 laps without visible drama indicates that the MCL39 is not a fragile car. It is an understood car. And there is a huge difference between being fast and being understood. An understanding car allows engineers to anticipate behaviors, allows precise adjustment, allows you to optimize strategy. It allows you to react during the race weekend without going into improvisation mode. That's what's really impactful about this second week. Furthermore, the official summary makes it clear that the times were extremely tight at the top. That means any marginal improvement can tip the balance. And if McLaren was still in the understanding phase, not in the maximum exploitation phase, the potential margin exists. Here the real competitive dimension begins to appear. If the car is already competitive in analysis mode, what happens when the time comes to unleash pure performance? Because it's one thing to be 100-second running a race simulation, and it is quite another to optimize the entire package for a fast lap with minimal fuel and an aggressive map. The second week of Bahrain did not show a nervous McLaren. He showed a structured McLaren. And that, in the preseason, is usually the sign that the team knows exactly where it stands. And when a team knows where they stand before the first race, the real pressure begins for the rest. Because after analyzing the context, the technical program, and the volume of work completed in the second week of Bahrain, the conclusion no longer revolves around a fast lap. It revolves around a structural signal. McLaren did not leave the test with visible doubts. He came out with data, with complete simulations, with aerodynamic validation on the track, with real correlation between what they expected and what happened. And that, before the start of the season, is a silent but enormous advantage. The official FIA summary did not need grandiloquent adjectives. It was enough to show the table. Adjusted times above, Piastri at 100th, Norris working multiple configurations, and the team accumulating more than 150 laps without any problems. That's stability. And when a car is stable, engineers can start fine-tuning. They are not putting out fires. They are not chasing reliability problems. They are not desperately searching for lost balance. They are optimizing. That is the critical point. The second week of Bahrain did not show a McLaren trying to figure out what it has. It showed a McLaren understanding how to squeeze out what it already knows works. Oscar Piastri ran a full race simulation. That means the team is already confident enough in the package to put it into real Grand Prix evaluation mode. They weren't testing loose pieces without coherence. They were simulating competition. And when a team simulates competition in testing, it is because it believes that the car is ready to compete. The 100th of the best time is no longer an anecdote. It becomes a symptom, a sign that the base performance is already there even without ideal conditions. Furthermore, the fact that times were so compressed at the top means that the season can start with minimal margins. And in small difference scenarios, prior technical preparation makes the difference. The second week of testing in Bahrain did not leave an explosive headline. He didn't leave an impossible return. He did not leave an inflammatory statement. He left something much more important. He left evidence. Evidence that McLaren completed more than 150 laps without incident. Evidence that Oscar Piastri was able to run a full race simulation including stops. Evidence that Lando Norris worked qualifying settings and power unit modes while the car remained competitive on the timesheets. And evidence that even without chasing the absolute best time, the MCL39 was 100th of a second away from the day's lead. That's no coincidence. In preseason, teams can hide performance. They can hide fuel loads. They can alter motor maps. But they can't fake stability for 158 laps. They can't fake a clean race simulation. They cannot fake correlation between track and simulator. What Bahrain left behind was a clear feeling. McLaren understands its car. And when a team understands its car before the season starts, the difference is no longer built from reaction. It is built from execution. The official FIA summary was cold, technical, without drama. But within this data there is a powerful message. The MCL39 is not looking for urgent answers. He is fine-tuning details. That means the groundwork is done. The question is no longer whether McLaren can be competitive. The question is how much additional margin can you unlock when the first race weekend arrives with minimal fuel and everything optimized for pure performance. Let me know in the comments what you think about all this.